As a society, we've been raised to believe that bigger is better. As entrepreneurs, we may be caught up in the numbers game, thinking that more followers, subscribers, or likes means more success. But in today's episode of Brand for Good, I'm going to bust that myth and show you why bigger isn't always better in marketing. Instead, we'll talk about how focusing on the right audience can drive better results than chasing vanity metrics. Tune in now and learn how to make your marketing count. Welcome to Brand for Good, the show for purpose-driven leaders who want to build timeless brands and create sustainable impact. I'm Lorraine Sugart, former PR and marketing executive turned founder of the disruptive agency Prosper for Purpose. I've worked with some of the world's most beloved brands, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand identity, visibility, influence, and impact. Are you ready to brand for good? Let's go. Welcome back to Brand for Good. I'm your host, Lorraine Sugart, and today I'm excited to talk about the topic when bigger isn't better in marketing. So before we get started, a quick reminder about our last episode where we talked about the power of marketing scorecards. If you missed that episode, don't worry. You can still download our free marketing scorecard template by clicking the link in the show notes. It's in this week's show notes and last week's show notes. And if you want to learn how to use it or why it's important, go back to episode 116 and check that out. The scorecard is a really great tool to help you align your marketing activities with your business goals and track your progress effectively. Today, though, I want to kind of take a turn from where we were last week and talk about why sometimes having more, bigger numbers, followers, etc., isn't actually better. I want to talk about understanding and focusing on the right data and why that's what truly matters, and give you ideas of how a smaller, more engaged audience can outperform larger ones. I'm also going to cover some strategies to help you create niche-focused content that attracts the right people and drives real results. So let's get into it. Let's start by talking about the importance of looking at the right data. While marketing data is essential for making informed decisions, it's also easy to get distracted by those vanity metrics like the number of followers or subscribers without considering whether these numbers are translating into real business outcomes. For example, you might see TikTok accounts with millions of followers, but the creators behind them are struggling to monetize their content. On the other hand, there are entrepreneurs with a small but targeted audience who are generating consistent revenue because they're tuned into what their ideal customers want. It's really not about how many people you're reaching. It's about reaching the right people. This concept applies to pretty much all your channels. So think about email marketing. A small, well-segmented list of engaged subscribers can often outperform massive lists with low open and click-through rates. In a future episode, I'll get into how you can build an email list of valued and interested subscribers. But today, let's just say that bigger, again, isn't always better. The same goes for Facebook groups, a community of 5,000 highly active members who are genuinely interested in your content can be far more valuable than a group of 50,000 members where only a small fraction of people are engaged. The takeaway here is that bigger numbers don't necessarily mean better business results. The quality and relevance of your audience are what really drive business success. So let's dive deeper with some real-world examples to illustrate this point. Consider a TikTok influencer with 2 million followers posting viral dance videos. There are names I could drop here, but I'm not going to. Let's just say that despite their popularity, they're struggling to sell products or services because their audience isn't targeted. They're just there for entertainment. Compare this to a niche expert with only 10,000 followers who specializes in marketing strategies for small businesses. This expert consistently generates sales through webinars, online courses, and consulting services because their audience is highly targeted and invested in their expertise. And no, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not talking about me, but there are some people out there who are doing this, not only in marketing, but in other service-based areas from HR to investing to even legal. So it's very interesting to watch who you think is popular and then find out, usually later when there's some kind of news article, that they actually were making no money despite their huge and engaged following. So now let's talk about small email lists versus large email lists. Imagine you have two businesses. One has an email list of 100,000 subscribers, but their open rate is only 5%. The other has a list of 5,000 subscribers, but their open rate is 40%. The smaller list not only has more people engaging with the content, but they're also more likely to take action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up for a webinar, or sharing the content. This is especially true if your open rate is consistent and slightly growing over a long period of time. So, same with Facebook groups. A Facebook group with 50,000 members might sound impressive, but if only 200 people are actively participating, its impact is limited, and so is the number of people who are actually seeing the content. Conversely, a group with just 2,000 highly engaged members who regularly participate in discussions, attend live events, and support each other can create a vibrant community that directly supports your business. These three examples show that it's just not about how many people you're reaching, but how effectively you're engaging them. So, what's the secret in attracting the right people to your content? The answer lies in niching down. So, niching helps you focus your messaging and your content on a specific group of people who are most likely to benefit from what you offer. So, instead of trying to appeal to everyone, you're speaking directly to your ideal audience. This clarity not only makes your content more compelling, but also helps you stand out in a crowded market. And every market is crowded. Am I right? So, with social media algorithms increasingly prioritizing niche content, and if you didn't know they were, yes, they are, it's easier than ever to reach the right people. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are now serving up content to users based on their specific interests and past behavior. If someone has shown interest in photography for small businesses, they're more likely to see other photographers' posts and videos on that topic, even if they don't yet follow that particular person. This is great news for creators and businesses who have a clear niche. It means you can build a community of engaged followers without needing huge numbers. Now, let's talk about 4 tips for creating that niche-focused content. The first one is to know your audience. I know we hear this ad nauseum, but we really need to know who your ideal customer is. What is their problem that they need a solution for today? What do they desire in their life? And what are their challenges? The more specific you are, the better. Create content that speaks directly to these needs. Next, you need to solve specific problems. Provide value by addressing specific problems your audience faces. This can be through your long-form content like blog posts, videos, or podcasts. And then you can always translate it to your shorter form content like social media. The more targeted your solutions, the more your audience will see you as an authority. Number 3 is to use clear and consistent messaging. I know I've beat the drum on this for forever, but you want to be sure that your messaging is consistent across all your platforms. This helps reinforce your brand and makes it easier for people to understand what you offer and who you help. Remember that just about the time you're so sick of repeating the same messaging, other people are just starting to remember it. Number 4 is to engage and interact. Don't just broadcast your message, or what we say in the industry is spray and pray. Engage with them. Respond to comments, ask questions, encourage discussion, and engage on other people's platforms. This interaction builds a sense of community and loyalty among your followers while attracting new followers from the pages you engage with. And then finally, number 5, leverage social algorithms. Make sure your content is optimized for the platforms you're using. Use relevant hashtags, keywords, and engaging visuals to increase your visibility in niche-specific searches and feeds. By focusing on these strategies, you can create content that attracts the right people and drives meaningful engagement. So, to wrap up, bigger isn't always better in marketing. It's not about how many people are following you or on your list. It's about reaching the right people with the right message at the right time. By focusing on the right data, which we talked about in last week's episode, embracing your niche and creating content that resonates with your ideal audience, you can drive real results for your business. If you haven't yet, be sure to download our free marketing scorecard template from the link in the show notes. It's a great tool to help you track the metrics that matter most. Thanks for joining me today on Brand for Good. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and join me next week where I'll be talking more on branding and building your business. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brand for Good show. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode and leave a review so other purpose-driven leaders can find this valuable content. To learn more about building a brand for good, please visit prosperforpurpose.com for more resources and information on all the ways you can work with us.